Hey guys, so I want to make a new video going over a potential major patch that is going to happen in Path of Exile 2. So if you're not sure what this is going to be, if you're a new player, they only ever do these live stream patches when they're big, like massive amount of content. In PoE1, it has historically been new leagues. So if they're doing a live stream for a patch, presumably this is going to be massive news, like massive new content. They wouldn't do a live stream if it's only going to be like, oh, hey, we're just adding like one new mechanic, right? So this is potentially a really big patch. At least that's what I hope for. Like I said, historically in PoE1, we've only gotten these massive big live streams when it has been a new league. So if we're getting a live stream in PoE2, it's probably a decent amount of new content. So yeah, on January 12th at 12:30 p.m. PST, they are doing a live stream. We'll see what's going to happen. It's just an announcement. They didn't say what's going to be in it. And then there'll be a Q&A after. So I made my own predictions, what's going to be nerfed, what's going to be buffed, what's potential new content that we're looking forward to, and what I'm hoping for. So first things first, what is going to be nerfed? If you're new to PoE, GEG does nerf quite often, and the power level in PoE2 is really absurdly high, probably way higher than they ever thought it would be. So I do expect nerfs, but I do expect some buffs as well. So obviously Archmage and Mom, these are very, very strong right now. 100% most likely going to be nerfed. I believe it's the most played build right now, actually, is this Archmage. Obviously, Heralds, if you've been watching me, Heralds are absolutely nuts. The AoE screen clear they have is actually better than that of PoE1. So, I mean, this is, 100% going to be nerfed. Stat stacking or gemling, these are kind of together. But also stuff like, Hands of Wisdom in action are completely insane, even when you aren't stat stacking. So stuff like this is probably going to get nerfed. Grim Feast, obviously Energy Shield is very nuts, and a major part of that is Grim Feast, especially the overflow part. Also Energy Shield in general, even without Grim Feast, Energy Shield is completely busted. It's really not that hard to reach like 5k to 10k ES depending on where you are on the tree. If you're in a witch starting area, you can easily reach 10k ES with no issue, while you can't really get more than like 4 or 5k life. So yeah, Energy Shield is pretty busted. You'd expect Energy Shield to be nerfed or life to be brought up to Energy Shield levels, because right now it's kind of unbalanced, and obviously Energy Shield is just way better. Hand of Wisdom in action kind of goes with a stat stacking, but not really. The gloves in general are just completely overpowered, even when you aren't stat stacking. Let's give a ton of damage. Anything that can kill a pinnacle boss in 1 second. Like I said, I don't really think they want the game, especially this early on, to where builds are killing the hardest content in a single second. So any build that can kill, Arbiter 4 in 1 second is most likely getting nerfed. And hopefully, just kind of hopefully, on death effects. I think on death effects are the biggest complaint among players for dying. It is really feels unfair. It does way too much damage. I really hope this does get a nerf. Now, my predicted buffs. Obviously, they'll also buff a lot of unused stuff as well. A lot of undertuned stuff. Mason Warriors. So obviously, Warriors in general are pretty weak. They do have some strong stuff, and so I say they probably will nerf the warrior builds that one-shot bosses, like Hammer of the Gods can one-shot bosses. That'll probably be nerfed. In exchange, they'll probably buff the underused warrior stuff. Cold and fire spells, practically no one is playing cold or fire spells really. There's like some cold stuff, but not really. So I definitely expect these to be buffed, especially if Archmage is nerfed, and I'll give people like more builds to play. Life buffs, like I said, I think either life is being buffed or Energy Shield is being nerfed, but life is so far behind ES right now that like one of these two things have to happen. More defense options. This is one thing I do hope for that'll come. I don't think it will come in this patch, but there is a lack of defense options in PoE2. It really feels like you can't build defense. Like me as a Deadeye, it feels like, okay, I can go to ES or I can go evasion, but as ES is broken, that's the only reason why it's good. So when ES is, properly balanced, my only option would be evasion. That's it. That's all the defense I can build. So I do hope there is more defense options. It definitely feels like a big lack of defense options. I can't really do much to my character to add defense outside of stacking ES. And now potential new content. So this is the reason why I'm really looking forward to the live stream, is that once again, they do these live streams when they're announcing a lot of stuff, big news, right? They're not going to do a live stream if it's just like, oh yeah, we're just going to nerf like 3 builds, right? They aren't going to do a live stream for that. They're doing a live stream because it's potentially new content, right? That is the reason why they do live streams. So the first big one could potentially be a new league. So it'll be a fresh start. You'll still keep your character in standard. If you played Diablo before but haven't played PoE1, it's the same thing as a season in Diablo. You can choose a new league, refresh, fresh economy. You still have your standard character that you can play, but it's on a different economy. So potentially new league. I don't really expect it, but it definitely could happen. We'll see. Huntress and Jude, this is actually something I do expect. I actually do expect Huntress and Jude to come with this live stream and the next patch. The reason why, they said before PoE2 launched that Huntress was pretty much almost done and ready to be launched right before PoE2 did launch, and they just didn't get it finished in time. So if it was already like almost in a finished state, that means it really isn't that much more development time until it is done. And they also do need to get 6 more classes out within a year. I think Huntress and Jude come in, or maybe just Huntress and Jude later does make sense here. So yeah, I really do expect Huntress to come out, and it's definitely a class I'm looking forward to a lot as well. New lead mechanics. So like I said, if you're new to PoE2, PoE1 has a ton of lead mechanics. In fact, all of the mechanics we currently have in PoE2 is from PoE1. Delirium, Ritual, Expedition, Breach, Strong Boxes, Essence, right? All that's on PoE1. So I do expect more PoE1 lead mechanics to come over to PoE2. It's quite easy for them to do. It's easy for them for the design because it's already in PoE1. So I definitely do expect some new lead mechanics, maybe like 1 or 2. And potentially Act 4. Of course, there's still 3 more acts. They want to get all 3 acts by the end of the year. So, you know, potentially Act 4 could come as well. Now, here's what I'm hoping for that's also in the patch. More stash tabs. We also need the fragment and map stash tab. You know, not having these stash tabs absolutely makes no sense right now. I'm not really sure why they're not in the game. Please give us the Waystone map stash tab, GG. We really appreciate it. Delirium fix. Right now, Delirium is probably one of the most annoying lead mechanics to farm, although it is very profitable. The mobs just permanently push you for some reason, and also immune for 2 seconds on spawn. I really hope they fix Delirium. Current lead mechanics expanded on, so Essence and Strongbox. We do know Strongbox is being buffed in a future patch, but I also do hope Essence they expanded on. Essence doesn't feel all that great. It is good, but it doesn't really feel that great compared to PoE1, so I do hope Essence is buffed. And of course, the underused lead mechanics as well, like stuff like Expedition, which feels like normally does. Crafting buffs. Obviously, crafting PoE2 is definitely one of the down points of the game right now. It really feels like you don't really craft at all. You just kind of throw into exalts and hope it's good. Hope there is some more crafting buffs in the near patch. Tower reworked and more endgame. Mostly the tower reworked. You know, like I said, if you've been playing endgame for a while, you know towers feel like a chore. I really do hope they are fixed or reworked in the near future. And more ascendancy. So this one I do feel like is likely to happen. Each class is supposed to have 3 ascendancies. You know, for example, Ranger has Deadeye and Pathfinder, and it really doesn't take that much more effort to create an ascendancy compared to a class. So I could definitely see them adding more ascendancies with each patch because it is a lot less work than that of a class. So yeah, I can definitely see more ascendancies coming within the patch. So yeah, that's about it. Now let me know what you think is going to patch. What do you think is going to happen in this live stream? Like I said, historically, live stream has brought a ton of new content in Path of Exile. So I'm really excited to see what this live stream is going to be. I'm of course going to be watching it live on my Twitch. But yeah, that's about it.